Yes, we are back. Mock Draft 2.0 here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham, full 7-round mock draft coming at you here on today's show. And promises made, promises kept on today's program. We will include trades because I said on our first mock draft, if we get 1,500 likes or more, we will trade. And we're going to trade down. There was a lot of comments on the video. I asked, do you want to trade up, trade down? Just had a couple more trade down comments in that video. But if you voted up, we will trade up in a future mock. Don't you worry. But we will have multiple trades in this mock, and we're going to trade down from round one. So let's go ahead and get it started there. We're trading down with the Raiders. We're going to hop out of the first round, trade with Vegas, move down from 25 to 36, but pick up 67 and send back 129, a late fourth-round pick. So drop it 11 spots in the top 40, but moving up, 60 spots, 62 spots from the late fourth to the early third round. I think in a draft like this, where when you're picking at 25, there's probably no round one grades left anyway, that is a trade I would probably do in a heartbeat unless there's just a player I loved at 25. All right, let's make our first pick. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety out of Toledo. This guy is awesome, man. He reminds me of a lot of these new modern hybrid safeties. He's pretty big, physical. He's over 200 pounds, 6'2", and he's just around the football a lot. And Toledo has kind of turned into this like draft factory. They have like a player or two every year that's pro ready. He could sneak into the first round. Like, it wouldn't shock me if he was in play for the Bears at 25 overall, but a lot of ball production. And I think he would fit what Dennis Allen likes in the secondary. A guy you can move around. You play him down in the box. He can play center field. He can man up against slots and tight ends and running backs. And I really do think the Bears are going to draft a safety early, whether it's with their first pick or somewhere on day one or day two. They are going to select a safety. Why? Because they don't have any. They're all free agents. I think they'll re-sign probably Kevin Byard and maybe one of their backup guys, whether it's Jonathan Owens or Elijah Hicks, but they're going to need another starter, at least one, and I think the best path to do that is to find one in the draft, and I think McNeil-Warren is a pretty young, exciting prospect, so that is my first selection here. All right, fellas, Valentine's Day is almost here, and if you got a special female in your life, maybe wifey or, a serious girlfriend, and, you kind of whipped them into being a Bears fan, or maybe they just happen to be anyways, whatever the case may be, get your married into this gear for your sig other or yourself. Hey, I'm married to the game. I got a wife, but I'm also married to the game. The sweatshirts are unisex for males or females, but that's an example of what it would look like on a lady there. We got the dark charcoal colored as well, so white and charcoal available. Again, they fit the fellas nicely as well. The t-shirts are just for the ladies. It's the ladies style t-shirts. Chatsports.com/BearsVDay is the link. If you're watching this and it's still the month of January, $5 off with code VDAY5. So you can get $5 off the sweatshirts and the t-shirts with code VDAY5. Check it out today. It's awesome. Get the sweatshirts, get the t-shirts. Don't wait to the last minute to get your Sig Other some V-Day gifts. Take advantage right now. And, once the day's here, you don't have to worry about it. You're already good to go. Okay, round two, pick number 57, Derrick Moore, the edge out of Michigan, who's really earned himself some money at the Senior Bowl this week. I think there's a lot of players in this range that are going to check some Dennis Allen boxes. Big, physical, can set the edge, long arms. Derrick Moore, I think, has over 34-inch arms based on his Senior Bowl testing, and he was productive. 10.5 TFLs, 10 sacks this year for Michigan, 41 pressures. I really like what I saw from him this year. Like, this isn't just he had the viral clip at the Senior Bowl, which he did. He was pretty good all week long, and he had a really good season for the Wolverines. I think he fits the mold that Dennis Allen is looking for. And, where the Bears are picking in the first round at 25, there may not be like the ideal edge rusher or even defensive tackle, but I think on day two, especially in a trade down scenario where you can get an extra pick in this range, you should be able to check some of those boxes, find some D-tacks, find some edges who could step in and play right away and do some of the things that Dennis Allen is trying to do. I think Derrick Moore is certainly one of those guys. What do you guys think? Do you think edge or defensive tackle is a bigger need? I think you need to get better at both positions, but you guys let me know. Edge, D-tack, get your thoughts down below. All right, our second trade of this mock, we're going to trade down again, just 8 spots from 67 to 75. But again, we're going to move up from the 5th round to the 4th round with the Dolphins. So, we're kind of loading up in that 2nd to 4th round range, which is kind of what Ryan Poles did last year too, when he traded a couple of times on draft day. Darrell Jackson, who is rising up draft boards. He was the best player, according to reports, at the Shrine Bowl. He was so good, he ended up getting a late invite to the Senior Bowl. Has had a good week there as well. He's like 6'5", 330. I mean, he is massive. He is violent. He can move well for his size. I think he could play both defensive tackle spots, probably better as a nose, but he has flashed some pass rush ability. I think somewhere between pick 60 and 90 is where he's going to go. And in this situation, I get him at 75 in a small trade down and also move up around later in the draft. So safety, edge, D-tack with my first 3 picks, and I've added some better capital along the way. I would say that would work out well for the Chicago Bears. Let's go offense for the first time. Offensive tackle, J.C. Davis out of Illinois. 4-year starter at left tackle in college, 2 years at New Mexico, transferred to Illinois in the Big Ten, started the last 2 years for the Illini as well. He's been durable. He's played well. He kind of put it all together this year, really graded well per Pro Football Focus, was one of the highest graded tackles in the country this year. I think he's a mid-late day 2 type of player, has some flaws, can get beat on that initial step by speed rushers sometimes, but he's played a lot of ball, which I really, really like. And remember, that left tackle position for the Bears is in flux right now. Do you try to get like a temporary solution? How do they feel about Ozzie Trapillo long term? You can never go wrong with drafting offensive linemen. That's a position group that gets injured a lot. The Bears were very fortunate this year. Until Ozzie got hurt late in the year, they basically did not have any injuries up front. That's pretty rare. Like, is Karan Amagaji on the team next year? So, like, taking a guy like this in the middle of the draft, I think makes some sense. I think he's got starting upside, probably more of a swing type, but hey, maybe there's like a competition at left tackle, and I think you could throw him right into that. So I like that he's played a lot of ball at 2 different levels and made the jump to the Big Ten and more than held his own. He was a good player. Okay, we can keep it rolling here on this video, but if you want more Bears draft content, mock drafts, prospect breakdowns, we're doing the Cullen Draft Crush series again every live show Mondays and Thursdays. Subscribe to the channel. Join us. We're breaking down the draft for the next 3 months. It's going to be a lot of fun. Okay, round 4, pick 111, Eric McAlister. This is a fun player. I don't know where he's going to go. I could see him sneaking into day 2. Really productive the last 2 years at TCU. I'm obviously a TCU alum, so probably a little bias here, but I've also watched every one of his games. He has a unique size, speed, yak combo. I'll be curious to see what he measures in at the combine, height and weight. I think he's going to be at least 6'2", but he's not the thickest guy. He might be like 190, 195. I think he was measured at 6'3", 195 at TCU. I'm going to guess he's 6'2", 190, 195. So he can get a little thicker, but for his size, he's really good after the catch. He was like 35th in the country in yards after the catch, and for a receiver well over 6 foot, that's impressive. He can go up and get the football too. He's a pretty smooth player. Like, go watch him, and he was productive. And his career yards per catch, over 18 yards, and that's on a lot of volume. This year, with over 75 catches, still was well over 16 yards per catch. On that high of volume, that's a really, really good number. Big play. We know Ben Johnson values yards after the catch. This is a fun player who I think if you drafted him and let's say DJ Moore's not in the team next year, he could compete to be your number 3 receiver next year. That's absolutely on the table. Okay, then real quick, with all the trading and obviously the Joe Tryon Shoinka trade, already don't have a 6th-round pick. So a couple 7th-round picks. Eric Gentry, now these mock simulators, especially for the late-round guys, not fully up to speed. He turned some heads at the Shrine Bowl. He's like this 6'6", 220-pound athlete who plays linebacker at USC. He's very raw, but the traits are fascinating. With that size, he can run. He probably needs a year or two of NFL development, but again, 7th round, maybe you sneak him on the practice squad. I'm intrigued by him. Do you put 20 pounds on him and try to make him an edge rusher? I'm not sure, but I think if he fell 6th, 7th round and he's sitting there, I wouldn't mind taking him. Grayson Holton, decent player at OU. I think he could be a rotational D-tack in the NFL. So I do think edge and D-tack are positions you could double dip on in the draft, depending on what you do in free agency. And, I would have liked to go linebacker a little earlier in this draft, but the way it fell, it just did not play out that way. So grade this mock, A, B, C, D, or F. How do you guys think I did? And for those who voted trade up, we will trade up in a future mock, probably multiple, so don't worry about that. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're probably going to do a mock a week at this point, or at least close to it. So lock us in, draft content, free agency, off season's in full force. It's an exciting time. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, bear down.